welcome to episode 3 of Play for Blood, the podcast where we talk about the hard-hitting action stars and we ask the hard-hitting questions like, who is that guy in the red and why does he look vaguely familiar? For those of you who are fans of the show, hopefully you're watching or listening. Otherwise, what are you doing? And if you are, hopefully you are also subscribed to our show, Culture Copia. So the man that I'm referring to my left, not my immediate left, but my left, is Nate from Culture Copia. And he is joining us today to talk about Bruce Lee. That's who we are playing for blood with today. So, and of course, as always, with me to my immediate left is Casey. So I'm going to be honest with you guys, and I'm going to jump right into it. Aside from like some old episodes of like the Green Hornet that I remember watching with my dad, I never really I don't remember seeing a lot of Bruce Lee films. And I'm going to be even more brutally honest. Gearing up for this, I was like, ooh, I should go back and watch some, and it was rough. Yeah. I had a hard time. I think I watched a few and I was like, did I just watch the same movie 3 times? What happened here? So I guess as much as I enjoyed all the martial arts and everything and it was kind of cool to watch, I guess it's just kind of not my thing. So I think that's why Nate's here to kind of help us with that. Nate, what's
How could this not be your thing? Bruce Lee is just a legend to watch on the screen. Punch people in the face and kick them and use nunchucks. And then especially when he's stepping on people and doing that, wah! And he goes through many emotions on his face. He's angry, and then he's sad and he cries a little bit, and then he gets furious again. Bruce Lee is just a phenomenon on the screen. And I'll tell you what too, Matt, I went back and watched a little bit because the majority of the Bruce Lee stuff I watched was when I was growing up. Me and my buddies were watching Kung Fu flicks. Yeah. I was like, what the fuck happened in these movies? I remember the fights pretty vividly. Yeah. But the actual plot and stuff, it was kind of well, it's another Chinese triad mafia film.
Yeah, see, and that's exactly what you're not watching this for the story. We're going to be honest.
I mean, he's killing unkillable people.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we got a delivery going on over here. I'm not
drive-by delivery.
There's pizza.
There's
yes,
pizza. Pizza in the house.
Slice?
I will take the cat.
Tori coming in.
The lovely Miss Tori coming in with some pizza. I am good. Awesome. Thank you so much. I didn't bring money for tip. Thank you. That was amazing. I love that. What? So what? I guess. What about you?
I didn't think this through.
Casey, did you watch a lot of Bruce Lee?
So I feel like I watched the same 3 movies over and over and over.
Way of the Dragon, Enter the Dragon, Return of the Dragon.
Which was the one? Which was the one where he was in the military and he came back and his teacher was dead?
Was that Fist of Fury?
Was that Fist of Fury?
Dude, I don't even remember.
Yeah, because
that
was because it was a black and white, and then they also made it in color too. And that was
when they were lacing every black and white movie in Technicolor, and before Technicolor, I guess it was they were just going back and hey, look, we can do this now, and it looked god awful.
Yeah, because whichever one was the one, because of course all the names just are together in all of his movies. The one with where he basically goes and his uncle's owning I think it's a Chinese restaurant, and he goes there and basically is to help out, but he ends up being the muscle.
Yeah, they're trying to thug on him.
Yeah. There's this mob that's trying to take the restaurant from him. And
okay,
that was always a good one.
Now we're getting to some of the things I like and remember about Bruce Lee fight scenes is the idea of one man versus 20 guys.
Yeah. In an alley.
An alley. And Bruce Lee always goes against the odds. They're okay, you're going to defend the honor of your Chinese grandfather's restaurant, but there's going to be a bunch of shady-ass characters, and they're going to bring you out into the parking lot, and they're going to have a big fight. Yeah. But no one's got a gun. Don't worry about that part. And then Bruce Lee whip out nunchucks and just
They show up with chains and bats and pipes, and he's just like, I'm going to show you Chinese boxing.
Well, without getting too ahead of ourselves here, some of the ones I remember were like, it was like tournament fighting, right? Isn't there?
That was Enter the Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Enter the Dragon
Tons
is
of that.
That's the
Enter
one where
Dragon.
he goes. That's when he goes.
Yep.
Enter the Dragon. Whichever one he goes to the island, and
There's
it's
a there's a
tournament.
dragon involved.
I think it's Enter the Dragon.
We know this much. Is it so? Was that a question? Do I want one? Yeah, I'd love one.
Put your beer down.
We're being like wine and dine in the studio today.
Thank you
Tori's
so
got
much.
pizza. Rob's got beer.
Yeah,
I mean, this
know.
is great.
And you know, the thing about our shows.
And I apologize for chewing on the mic here.
You're
but
fine. You're
I
fine.
can't.
Our-
resist it.
I actually love this because one of the things about our shows is that the whole point of it all and like what we do is like we all like to just hang out and talk about this shit anyway, and so that's kind of what we wanted our shows to feel like is it's a hang, and if anything demonstrates that. It's this episode with Tori bringing us pizza and Rob getting us beers. So, I guess let's go back. I want to ask. This has kind of become like a running question that we're doing on this show. Is what was the first film or first thing that you remember seeing Bruce Lee in? What was your first exposure to Bruce Lee?
Enter the Dragon, I think.
Enter the Dragon.
I remember seeing Bruce Lee's back get slashed, like Wolverine marks on his back at one point. And I also remember him fighting in a House of Mirrors. And that's the most, like, jump-out moment for me with Bruce Lee. And seeing that fight, I was watching him fight a bunch of people. And at the time, I was super into... I was maybe, like, who knows, 12 at the time? 13? Yeah. Pretty young. And I was super into the kung fu fighting that was going on in that movie. And so that's what sticks out for me. How about you? I mean, you said you're kind of catching up on the modern collection now.
Yeah. I don't remember 100%, but if I had to guess, I think to the best of my ability, what I can remember is seeing him as Kato in an episode of the 60s Batman series. They did like a crossover.
Yep.
Where like the Green Hornet and Kato were there. And because I remember watching like the old Batman series with my dad, and then my dad like kind of explaining to me like who that was and why these guys are there, and then from there I do remember seeing some old Green Hornet episodes, but it was never something I watched regularly. So I think that had to have been it. It was on Batman. What about you?
I would say the first thing that really ever caught my eye was because when I was growing up, you know, Walker Texas Ranger was huge. So then anybody who could fight Chuck Norris, I was like, oh, well, I'm watching that.
Yeah.
Glad you brought that up, the Chuck Norris tie-in.
Yeah.
That so what was that? Enter the Dragon that he was in? Way of the Dragon?
I think whichever one's the one where his uncle owns the...
That's the one where Chuck Norris shows up.
Yeah, because the mobster guy hires Chuck Norris to fight him.
Yep. Okay. Now that makes sense. So is that your favorite? Would you say it's your favorite?
Oh, yeah. It's got a lot of kittens. in that one. Like they
forgot about that.
They're like zooming in on him and Chuck Norris as they're like slowly taking their clothes off to like get ready to fight, which I was like, wow, this is getting serious in two different ways.
Yeah. And
then out of nowhere there's like cats in the background and they're just zooming in on this kitten that's just sitting there like shit. And I was like, all right, fighting kittens, this is my jam.
So it seems that most of the films that he did throughout his early career in like the 50s were all obviously foreign films, and probably things that we weren't really exposed to here. I would say not until you get to Way of the Dragon or Enter the Dragon or the Green Hornet is when, in the United States we start to see Bruce Lee and who he is and what he can do, and it's like, damn, dude, Like it was kind of crazy, especially at a time where it was like, doing things like, I know he had stuntmen and coordinators, but he also did a lot of his own stunts.
He had some great stuntmen.
Yes, yeah. Wasn't, maybe I'm wrong about this, wasn't Jackie Chan a stuntman on one?
Enter the Dragon.
Enter the Dragon, yeah.
He was one of the guys that he's beaten up in the tunnel, in the scene where he's letting all those captive people go.
Because that's how Jackie Chan started out.
Yeah, he started out as punching bag for Bruce Lee.
As a stuntman, and then got into acting, but continued to do all his own stunts.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool.
Because a little bit after that, I remember that's when he got, what was it, the drunken fist.
Oh God, yes. We'll have to cover Jackie Chan in an episode because it's the what was that, the Legend of the Drunken Master. Yeah, when he does the
the drunken style.
Yeah, where he's like swaying style. And yeah. Very cool.
He literally fights when he gets drunk.
That is like
totally legit martial art for him.
Yeah.
That's the thing about Bruce Lee that I really like too, is that he's like a legit martial artist off the camera. And so that's kind of one of the things that really pulled me in about the films later. I found out because I would like kung fu and martial arts, and when I found out he was like actually a legitimate martial artist in this Jeet Kune Do system, I mean, I was like, wow, this is cool. Like, this guy is doing it, but also making like awesome movies. He went Hollywood with it.
Yeah, because I remember seeing one of his early teaching videos where like basically someone was literally recording him like teach a class, and he had this kid pretty close to him, and he had his fist like that, and he just went like that. Looked like he just flicked the kid. That kid went flying.
Ever show you my 1-inch punch?
Yeah,
1-inch punch.
It wasn't even a 1-inch punch. It was a 1-inch flick.
Did you guys ever see that movie? So there was a movie in the early '90s called Dragon, the story of Bruce Lee. But then sometime within the past, like, I don't know, 5 or 6 years or so, there was another movie that came out based on like it was about his life, and I forget
documentary type thing.
Yeah, well, it was like a biopic. Like there was another actor playing him, and that was one of the like the big like promos, like in all the trailers and stuff, was that scene where he's talking to, I don't remember who he was talking to, and he goes, "Did I ever show you my 1-inch punch?" And he does the whole little no, totally amazing. Like I said, once you get into we get into those films we were talking about, and some of the Green Hornet stuff. That was when we start to see more of him in the United States and in our pop culture. So, yes.
I mean, he was showing some stuff he wasn't supposed to show either. And that's the other part about Bruce Lee that got him in trouble with whoever knows who that was, that organization that didn't want him doing that.
Yes. Yeah.
He was showing some real, Chinese kung fu.
Yeah.
And so, that's kind of interesting. He'd sprinkle that in his films.
It's almost like he was like in danger of getting blacklisted. Like
killed.
Was he?
Yeah.
Really?
This guy's going to go.
I didn't know that.
Well, so Bruce Lee, he died under mysterious circumstances.
We all know that, yes.
Brandon Lee died under mysterious circumstances.
Yes. They say cancer.
I mean, he got shot on set, so it's like... he was showing some stuff. I mean, Bruce Lee had like legit Chinese kung fu going on. And the thing about Bruce Lee that infuriated a lot of those systems is that he would cross his kung fu with other systems. Mm-hmm. And that was a huge no-no for traditional Chinese kung fu. You don't do that.
Right.
But Bruce Lee was really about optimizing a system. He was a purist when it came to combat. Like, he wasn't about flash. He wasn't about spin kicks and all this stuff. He wanted like what worked. Like, Bruce Lee would straight up punch somebody in the nuts as part of his legitimate tactics. He would poke somebody's eye out as part of his legitimate tactics for fighting. This is part of the reason people didn't want to fight Bruce Lee, because he would tell people this. He's like, if we fight, I'm not holding back. And you don't want to hear that from Bruce Lee.
No.
I mean, that guy is a savage of the highest caliber.
He's almost like the Ric Flair of
he kind of was the
kung fu
with the attitude.
Yeah,
man. He kind of had like a lot of
the dirtiest, I guess,
like
player
Chinese
in the game.
machismo, whatever that's called.
I mean, that was Flair's whole like character back in the day, was that he was like they always called him the dirtiest player in the game.
Oh, dude, Flair kills me every time.
Poke some eyes. He's
like, I
some low
spent
blows.
more money on spilled liquor than you've seen the last year.
That line.
Woo! On these gators. They're barking. Can't keep him down.
I hear a lot about like Bruce Lee, and he kind of had that like off screen. He sort of had that kind of swagger about him too, where he would, he would kind of. I don't want to say that he was cocky. Maybe he was. Maybe it was well deserved. But it was one of those things, on these films, he's kind of like just sitting around bragging like, I could beat all of you. I'm the best, and it's just like, damn, dude, okay.
Dude, he got a quote that I love. He goes, if I said to you I wasn't the best, I would be lying.
Yeah.
But if I say that I'm not the best, then if I fuck the quote up. It's something along those lines. Like, if I said I wasn't the best, I'd be lying. But if I say I am the best, you won't believe me. That kind of thing.
Okay.
That kind of contradiction of, like, there can be a scenario in life where you truly are, like, the greatest. But what is that going to do for you to go tell everybody you're the greatest? People are going to be like, this motherfucker's just bragging. Like, you got to show them you're the greatest. And his films kind of did a lot of that. It was like, there's the proof.
Well, that's what I mean, Muhammad Ali kind of the same way, in the sense of, like, that's where we get like the greatest of all time, all that kind of stuff, where it's just like, yeah, he would say it, but then he's also going to show you, and back it up.
They kind of hat tip this thing we're talking about, Bruce Lee's like swagger and his kind of like arrogance a bit in what was that, Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Yeah.
Was that was with Brad? Was that Brad Pitt and
Brad Pitt, Leonardo DiCaprio, and tons of other people, but
he's backstage getting ready to.
Rob, you haven't seen that yet, have you? All right.
That's
well, you might want to cover your ears.
Some spoilers in there,
but
I haven't seen it either. But I've seen enough videos of.
You've seen this scene, the scene we're talking about.
Yeah.
So Brad Pitt's
having lunch.
His character is the stuntman for Leonardo DiCaprio's character in all of his movies and shows and everything. He's like an old like Western star and stuff in the '60s, and he they're all hanging out and Bruce Lee is, I forget the actor who played him in that movie, but he's doing this thing where he's talking about, like how I'm the greatest and I can beat anyone. And then basically Brad Pitt just comes over and fucking humbles him.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny. I remember reading an article about why Tarantino did that. But I don't remember exactly
I
what
heard
his
that
reasoning
scene got
behind
a lot of backlash.
It did, and I know that's why I read that article, because people were like, what the fuck are you
It wasn't
doing?
even just people. It was family members were upset about that.
Yeah.
Because they were like, you made him out to be an asshole.
Yeah.
Wasn't he, though?
But
could have been.
he could have been.
well, I don't know. Well, and here's the thing too: you have to remember
It's a balancing act.
about a film like that is, Tarantino in a film like that, he's not claiming to for this to be historically accurate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like Inglourious Bastards. We all know the way that ends, and if you haven't seen it, I won't spoil it, but definitely does not end the way that things actually unfolded within that
scalps.
war. Yeah, so I mean, he's taking some liberties there, but
That's a funny side note. Just real quick, the Glorious Bastards thing with the scalps, man. Like, that quote, I still say that online when I'm playing games sometimes. And, like, with the team, I'm like, I want my scalps. And every time people get souped.
yeah, it's hilarious. No,
I digress. Sorry.
You're fine. No, I mean that's that's why we're talking about this.
Would you take that deal?
What
I'll
deal?
take that deal.
Damn good.
Rob would take that deal. What deal we taking here? Tell the kind people at home.
That's Inglourious Bastards,
where he gets to live.
Yeah.
But he's marked for the rest of his life. With the Nazis.
Would you take
With
that
the
deal?
swastika on
I'd take that
cut
deal.
into his forehead. Yeah.
Damn good deal.
Yeah.
Oof. Oof.
You know
Forgot
how to
about
get
that.
to Carnegie Hall, don't you? Practice.
Yeah. Tarantino will be a subject of.
There's a lot there, too.
Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah. It's almost fitting that we're talking about him because he was obviously inspired by a lot of these old kung fu movies. When you watch
Hell yeah.
movies like Kill Bill.
Yeah. Absolutely.
you know, and it's again, it's all that idea of like you guys were talking about. It was like one dude, or in that case, one chick, but like one person versus like 30, you know, or it's just like
that sword fight in that club. There's more than 30 people.
The black and white,
so
that they could
so
avoid.
amazing.
You know the story behind that, right?
No.
Why that scene's black and white? Because to show all of that blood in color, they would have had to have taken an NC-17 rating.
Oh, shit. So they did it for... Wow.
Yes.
That's pretty clever.
Yes. So...
Damn, and that's one of those situations where it seems like it worked out. Like,
yeah.
would
Oh,
have been cool,
my
but,
God.
Oh, we got someone in the studio here.
We got a newcomer slash latecomer. Yeah, is that some Oktoberfest in that bag there?
Some Oktoberfest.
All right. Hey, you got a hot mic. Why don't you go
Mike's
ahead and
hot.
sit
Jump on
down?
in.
Ladies
Someone
and gentlemen,
introduce our friend here.
ladies and gentlemen, Jimmy Mozzarella. How's it going?
Good, very good.
Okay, you don't have a hot mic. Never mind.
It was hot.
I didn't hear that at all.
I didn't hear that at all either.
All right, give it a
Und how about now?
Oh, there we
Yeah.
go.
That's super.
Very good, very good.
Yep.
Is that for the Oktoberfest? Is that what the accent's for?
Yeah, sure.
Because we're talking about Asian culture right now. We're talking about Bruce Lee.
Yes, I understand that this episode is Bruce Lee. You know, and I was thinking on the way over here,
Yeah.
something that has always bothered me about Bruce Lee history is only one biopic has ever shown that stuntman Cliff Booth kicked his ass once.
Yeah. That's what we were just talking about right when you walked
Motherfucker,
in.
I got to the joke late.
We were just talking about that when you walked in.
Yeah, they made him out to be such an asshole.
Well, I see. That's one of those interesting history things that, like, according to Quentin Tarantino, a lot of people he talked to were like, to stunt people, he was a huge dick.
Yeah.
And then, of course, his daughter's like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. He wasn't. Who do we believe?
Oh, so it was his daughter.
It was his daughter that's
Gotcha.
still pissy.
Glad Jim got here.
Quentin
I knew it was
Tarantino.
Jim.
Questions.
Getting cleared up here, yeah.
Yeah, it's his daughter that was the one that got all pissy about the movie, which, by the way, fictional.
That's
the
also what I said.
the other historical film that Quentin Tarantino made, apparently Adolf Hitler was burned in a movie theater. So
Okay, well, I specifically didn't spoil that, but I guess Jim's gonna come right in. I brought that one up too, and I was like, okay, in case you guys haven't seen it, I won't spoil it, but it doesn't end, historically accurate.
it was made how many years ago?
Okay, fine.
Enough that I still haven't seen it.
Yeah, he's waiting to read the book.
Are you not a
Oh,
Quentin Tarantino fan?
Oh, I love him.
Yeah,
And you haven't seen Inglourious Bastards?
I like his old stuff.
I think he's just afraid there's gonna be so much beef on the screen. He's gonna super daddy in his pants.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not afraid.
Well, I
I'd
mean,
be happy.
newsflash also, and it's painful for me to watch sometimes, that the Germans do lose.
Yeah.
They had it coming.
Spoiler.
And that one went over like a lead balloon. See, that's the thing, is like nobody in this room knows me well enough other than Rob and you kind of to know that I will make really inappropriate World War II jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's his favorite thing to do.
It is one of my
Other than
favorites.
showing up very, very late for a podcast.
It's his past.
I'm actually early. I think I was supposed to not be here for Bruce Lee.
Yeah, but we figured you'd just go ahead and come on
you're,
in.
You're
so.
one to talk about being late. Let's be honest.
Rolls
Very
in all
true.
late.
It's very true.
Let's be honest.
Deflect that shit, man.
It's very true.
Deflect it.
But when I'm early, I'm very, very early. I get here at like sunrise.
Yeah, when you're early, you're the day before, and then
You had stayed the night.
Yeah. When I'm early, I set up a cot.
I heard you were caught this morning taking a poop in the cat litter.
Yeah, that was me.
Okay.
I still want that cat.
Enter the dragon.
Yeah. So
Enter the dragon.
So what, Jim? We already asked this of each other, so don't ask us again. But no, I'm kidding. What was your first exposure to Bruce Lee? What do you remember seeing him in first?
You know, this is one, and this is actually kind of why I was okay with missing this one. It's not that I dislike Bruce Lee. Wasn't a thing in my household. Like when we talked about Arnold, we talked about Sly. That was all stuff that my dad was into and wanted me to watch. My dad wasn't a big,
Is
kung
it because
fu
those guys
movie.
are white?
No.
Yeah.
Not German.
You know,
Rob said, yeah.
because I honestly, my dad probably showed me like Green Hornet or something. Because
Yeah,
he was into
that's
the old.
what I
He was
said,
into the
yeah.
old TV shows.
Yeah, of course.
But like martial arts films were.
Yeah.
Even going into Chuck Norris, like we never watched like Delta Force. Any of the Chuck Norris films I've watched on my own.
What about
Oh, they have
Walker Texas
films?
Ranger?
Oh.
what?
What about Walker Texas Ranger?
We did watch Walker Texas Ranger. We were also a little gay and would then follow it up with Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman. You know, that was we would watch them tandem.
Wanted us some sissies.
We watched it because they were on at the same time.
Yeah,
I think Dr.
it's like
Quinn was
TNT.
on first, and then you would watch Walker afterwards.
But you didn't watch Walker. You made love to Walker.
Hey, and hey, there's a black guy in Walker, so
Yeah.
you know my dad's not racist. Jimmy was fantastic.
Yeah. So what if anything? Since I think you and I kind of fall in the same category here of like it's not really my thing, but do you have a favorite like Bruce Lee film or anything that you've seen him in?
My
that you're
favorite
like, that was-
appearance of Bruce Lee is in UFC 3, the video game.
Okay.
You can play as.
I knew it was gonna be something so fucking stupid.
No, I mean, again, I don't like. I know the title, Enter the Dragon.
Yeah.
If you showed me all of them, I'd be like, oh, I think I saw most of that one.
Yeah.
It was never my big thing. I like the action sequences and I like kung fu in general, but it just wasn't ever my thing. So I by default Enter the Dragon.
Yeah. I thought I for some reason I thought you were gonna say your favorite appearance was when he shows up as a drawing in the Green Hornet film, or the actor that's playing Kato is drawing and he's drawing Bruce Lee. It's like strangely meta and like
Oh,
not
yes. Yeah.
necessary.
Well, and then I did like kung fu as a kid, David Carradine. But that was
Why are you?
okay.
No. Of course you're gonna show up and shit's gonna get nasty.
no. I wasn't even going to bring up his death. I was just going to say
Hands down, you were.
I wasn't.
I
I
guarantee
promise you,
you
I
were.
wasn't.
Okay.
But I also like you when you know the history of that show. It kind of takes the shine off of some of it that it was supposed to be his show.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to put a yellow fella on TV.
Yeah, it's a little.
Oh,
fucked.
you know what my favorite Bruce Lee thing is, and this is dead serious. He's not actually in it, but it was based on his original writings. Is the HBO show Warrior? It was
Okay,
based
yeah.
on his writings.
Yes.
and his daughter's one of the producers.
Yep, I know what you're talking about.
That is a badass fucking show. You want to
right.
watch some cool fucking kung fu
Yep.
fights? Go watch Warrior.
That is actually really
I'll
cool.
check that out.
I'm gonna watch it now.
I saw some looks over here. You guys don't know what we're talking about with David Carradine?
No.
See, I wasn't
idea.
going to do it.
I know, but we brought too much attention to it. We kind of have to. We can't just leave it hanging
So,
out.
well,
I
let
was
me
just
ask you
looking
this
at Casey,
question.
You were like,
Let me ask you this question real quick. Are you
a
familiar
face
with the
person.
term autoerotic asphyxiation?
yeah. I
Yep.
think there's door handles involved.
Sometimes
Could be, yeah.
could be.
Could be.
Well, in David Carradine's case, it was the hanger bar, like where you would put hangers in a hotel room.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know that bar? It was that and a bunch more ropes,
Yeah.
and he was found cock out.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh,
and
yeah.
what was that? Thailand?
I don't remember.
I think it was Thailand.
So wait, which neck
Suppose
was
there's
hung?
worse ways to go.
huh?
Which neck was hung?
Both.
so,
actually,
okay,
in his
yeah.
case, in his case, it was both.
It was both.
Oh,
Yeah.
So autoerotic asphyxiation is the practice of choking yourself.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be almost to the point of passing out, and supposedly that's like the best orgasm you can have. But a lot of times people die because they they climax right before they pass out. Then they pass out and they wind up.
Okay, so that's
Hanging
what happened to
themselves.
this guy.
So
that
He
is-
he
yeah.
died
So
to
he was-
autoerotic
so
fixation.
he-
Oh my god.
had a rope around his neck and his cock.
Yeah,
guys-
and like he was basically like he strung himself up.
Yeah.
Are you not familiar with David Carradine?
No.
Have you ever seen Kill Bill?
You
Yeah.
never see.
Yeah. Okay. I've seen
He's
Kill Bill.
Bill.
He's Bill.
He is Bill.
Oh,
you guys-
Bill
shit.
died to that.
Yes.
You gotta tell me you've never seen the movie Big Stan with him and Rob Schneider.
Oh,
What?
how about we talked about for the
We
Sylvester
talked about this, yeah.
for the Sylvester
Oh my
Stallone?
God.
We had to talk about Death Race. Was it Death Race 2000?
Yeah.
he is Frankenstein in
Yeah.
Death Race 2000.
Yes, he is.
Later taken on by Jason Statham.
Yes. It was amazing.
Yeah,
Man.
One of America's finest.
sexiest.
Jason Statham.
Bill's dead.
He's British.
I know.
by the way.
That was the
So
joke.
really,
I got it. I was.
But
here.
yes, Bill of Kill Bill is dead by autoerotic
Yeah.
asphyxiation.
He killed Bill.
and in all honesty, it was a 5-finger death punch.
Damn.
All right.
whoa.
Well, this has devolved.
You brought that on yourself. I think.
Death Punch is playing in St. Louis this Saturday.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Really? You guys want to get tickets to 5 Flavor Fruit Punch?
Is that what I said?
No, that's what I call them.
I have less than zero desire to see 5-finger death punch.
Yeah, I have more desire to see 5 Flavor Fruit Punch.
Mudvayne's coming in
better be
Saturday.
They have one song I like, and it's a cover of a song.
Which one?
Bad Company.
Okay.
that's
so you got
pretty
blue
good.
on black, too.
Yeah. Well, they also covered I forget. One of our coworkers told me to listen to. House of the Rising Sun. He's like, it'll change your life. I listened to the first
Oh, that's a
minute and
good
I was
one.
like,
I like
I'm good.
Yeah.
Well, they change all and I always find this kind of douchey. Now they change some of the lyrics in Bad Company, but their version of House of the Rising Sun, it's like, in a house in Las Vegas. I'm like, nope, I'm out. Fuck off.
Rising Sun.
Wasn't that in,
That's
like-
a sad ass song?
Wasn't that in like a fucking zombie movie or something?
Probably.
As you speak of zombie,
Oh, you know what? It was probably in that
Quentin Tarantino,
Army of the Dead.
Army of the Dead.
Maybe.
yeah.
The Netflix.
I thought they used like some Richard Cheese songs.
I
or
do.
something for
Richard
that
Cheese.
one.
What a throw out
Yeah.
there.
I don't know.
Well, I feel like I've derailed this off of. off
We've
of Bruce Lee.
gone way off of Bruce
Who
Lee.
are we talking about? Oh,
Bruce Lee.
But I will say, without Bruce Lee, we wouldn't have one of my favorites, which is Jackie Chan. I grew up a huge Jackie Chan fan.
Yeah.
Those were, I think it was maybe the older kung fu films I didn't watch. It was, now like Police Story, those are hard to watch with Jackie Chan because they're all dubbed, but I love them.
well, that's what we were talked about back then. Bruce Lee used Jackie Chan as a punching bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, essentially. No, I think you bringing that up is exactly why Bruce Lee fits into like our topic and why he doesn't have as extensive of a film career as some of the other guys that we could talk about, because obviously he had an untimely death, which was sad. But he paved the way for so much. Like, we mentioned that we're probably going to talk about Jackie Chan in the future. I've brought up like Lucy Liu and some other people.
Jet
It's like-
Li.
and we cannot have those conversations until we have this one first.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he was just so damn influential.
Oh yeah.
Not even just for actors, but like, we talked about Tarantino and obviously, guys like that who were very, very influenced by these old kung fu movies.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when you watch things like Kill Bill and you see, okay, like this man was inspired by all this shit.
Well,
that,
he is also like many UFC fans, UFC historians, like UFC buffs will note that he is widely considered to be the grandfather of mixed martial arts,
Yeah.
because
Yep.
his whole thing
100%.
of wushu was he took a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, and he turned it into wushu.
Yeah.
And really is considered the first one that created like a practical, true mixed martial art that could be used against any style, because
It's a hell of a good system. That
Yeah.
Jeet Kune Do system he came up with. He took the best pieces of a lot of martial arts. He took a system called Wing Chun, and Wing Chun it's actually a pretty interesting system. Wing Chun was originally designed as a Chinese boxing system for a princess, and this is a system he taught. He taught it, he learned it, and incorporated it as like the foundation of his boxing technique. But as you know, boxing doesn't have any kicks involved in it.
Yeah.
There's a huge hole in that system. So he would take other systems and start to incorporate Western boxing with Wing Chun to create just a hybrid beast of a system. But this pissed off a lot of traditional Chinese martial artists, and this is kind of why Bruce started getting heat in like a real way. And he kept on doing this to create that Jeet Kune Do system. So that's actually like one of the things that's so special about him is like an actor is the idea of like he actually did the shit outside of the film. He actually was like a legit kung fu guy, and Jeet Kune Do shows up in his movies. Like you actually see people that he trains with in the movies. Like take Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah.
We could talk about that for a minute. That's a fantastic scene.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Man.
Now that's like one of the few. So like I would say that's kind of where I thought is like I've seen a lot of. Maybe I haven't watched all of the movies, but I feel like anybody that's into action movies at some point you've probably seen a lot of the notorious fight scenes.
Yeah.
Like from those movies because they're so good. and he's such an interesting. I mean, fuck John Wick, The Matrix.
Yeah.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You don't have a lot of that without him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Connor
the
Connor fucking
choreography.
McGregor doesn't exist without Bruce Lee.
There you go.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, and what's his face? The guy who
we're not going to
directed,
hold that against Bruce Lee.
What?
Hey.
Connor's a gem.
Connor was fantastic in Roadhouse.
Fuck. I still haven't watched that, by the way.
I saw.
Oh, you waiting to read the
I still
novelization?
haven't- yeah, I am. I still haven't watched that one. No. I've seen like the original Roadhouse.
Roadhouse.
Yeah.
I mean, I just
Patrick
can't.
Swayze.
I mean, was that Jake
The
Gyllenhaal?
Swayze. No, it's Patrick Swayze.
No. He's talking about the remake.
I know what
yes.
you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Jake
mean,
Gyllenhaal. Talking
I'd
about-
have to rewatch Brokeback Mountain then watch it.
Hey, Brokeback Mountain's a
Get back
good
in-
movie.
get
I've
in the
never
mood.
watched it.
It's
I'm
a
waiting to read the
good
book.
movie. I
Seen
bet
that
you
one.
are.
Yeah.
You hope
I-
it's,
I-
you hope it's
audio-
illustrated,
well,
don't you?
No, you need the audio
What I-
book so
what
you
I
have
really-
free hands.
What I'm waiting for is somebody to break it down into multiple issues of like Playboy letters or penthouse letters.
Oh yeah,
So I can read it like week over week as like an erotic
yeah.
letters.
Again, audiobook, free hands.
Well, you think I don't have free hands watching a movie? How do you watch movies?
I thought we were talking about books.
I've seen how he watches movies. He doesn't have free hands. He's shoveling popcorn and drinking
True
ices.
that.
I remember I invited
Fucking
you
double
out.
that butter.
Oh god damn, dude! I invited this dude out to a movie, and he
It.
was like, "It's too expensive." And I was like, most theaters have like those, where you get like you go on a certain day, like it's Tuesdays, for us, and it's like,
$5,
yeah. I'm like, well, we go on a Tuesday, it'll be cheap, And he's like, no, it's still too expensive. I go, what do you mean? And he's like, well, he's like, yeah, it's like $5 for the ticket, but then I gotta get the biggest bucket of popcorn, and I have to get the largest blue icy. I'm like,
Raspberry icy.
I'm like, why do you have to get those?
and then I
things?
also have to get the Reese's Pieces.
Yeah, see,
I'm already shelling out about $30, and that's just for food.
that's because you don't wear cargo pants. You wearing your cargo? Oh, you got cargo shorts on. That's where you put your Reese's Pieces.
Smuggling things into the movie theater is a fine art, man. That's a fun one to push.
But
too.
that's
It
just the
is.
thing is like you got to bring your wife because she's got a purse.
So it's easy if you
Yet
carry a purse.
She gets
Or a
this
merce.
little bitty fucking thing that she carries around. It's like, well, can't put shit in that.
Clutch, bitch! Don't bring your clutch to the movie theater.
Yeah.
All right, we ain't sneaking Twizzlers in
big
that
bag.
thing. It's easy in the winter when
Like
you got
when
a
her
big coat
purse
and
is
stuff.
smaller than my
Yes,
wallet.
the
I'm
winter's
just
the way
like,
to go.
Jesus
You get that
Christ.
big coat.
Yep.
You can. I had a box of Cheez-Its one time I went in the cinema with. Fucking security's looking at me like, dude, you've just crossed some line. I'm like, you're gonna let me in, right?
Motherfucker pulls out a half rack of ribs.
I'm bringing in a whole bowl of pasta
I'm eating
Diablo.
Cheez-Its. I got like a Heineken and shit. I'm getting cozy.
All right. Well,
Bang,
we,
bang.
Oh,
shrimp.
man, that's the way to do it.
well, we've covered most of Bruce Lee's films and definitely his part of his legacy. There's probably so much more we could say, honestly. Was Game of Death, right? Was his last? That was the one where he he passed, and then we never saw him again.
Didn't
yeah,
they have to have somebody?
Well,
finish
that's
that
typically
for
how
him?
He
death
continues
works.
to live on through a bunch of random YouTube videos too.
Yeah.
Like quick
Yeah.
shout out to just some of the random fucking Bruce Lee videos. There's a video of him on YouTube with the nunchucks playing ping pong. You guys seen this?
Yes, I have seen that.
Holy fuck,
Yeah.
dude. He's on one side. There's two dudes on the other side of the table, and they're hitting the ping pong one way, and Bruce Lee's got the nunchucks out.
nunchucks, yeah.
And he's hitting the ball back with the nunchucks.
Really? That's some
Incredible.
Jedi training bullshit.
Oh,
right
yeah,
there.
it is.
That is exactly what that is. That actually reminds me of something that Jim and I stumbled upon on Instagram. A dude that just like hits water balloons or something.
They're not even water.
Oh, they're just balloons. So some
and they're
dude-
barely inflated balloons.
He hits balloons with a chain, which we for a second thought was maybe some kind of martial arts weapon, and then when you actually see what it is, it's literally just a wallet chain. And the man's got to be like in his 50s, and it's like all serious. He's like dead serious,
and that
about
is
it.
all he does on his Instagram.
It's all it is.
Oh my God.
It's a gem, dude.
What
It's-
was the
That's
movie
great.
when he's in the yellow jumpsuit? Bruce Lee. There's a
the
movie.
like iconic it's
Yellow
like,
and black.
It inspires Kill
Yeah.
Bill.
Yeah, it's what they put
film
Uma
is
Thurman
that?
in, and
yeah.
Well, there's a YouTube about this kid who was like 3 years old, and like you literally the dad's TV's in the background in the dad's film.
Oh, I've seen this.
And you just see that scene when he's in that jumpsuit with the nunchucks, and the kid is doing the
Yeah.
same thing.
Goddamn.
Yeah, the
mimicking
kid's
him
like, "Whoa, whoa,
with these
whoa."
nunchucks, and I mean he's
amazing.
like 3 or 4.
Yeah, it was
You
like
guys ever- you
and a
guys-
yellow jumpsuit.
That's like super impressive because I don't know if you ever messed with nunchucks before, but they're not as easy as they look like on
Oh, yeah.
television. I've
yeah.
whacked myself with nunchucks like too many times.
Oh yeah.
And to see the fucking 3-year-olds getting down, it's like when you see virtuoso guitar players and stuff that are 3, you're like, how can you do this?
Dude, when I see dudes that are
Amazing.
like 30 do that shit, I don't understand. I still
Yeah,
can't
still
get it, dude.
impressive.
Hey, look, I mean,
Well, see, I'm a little bit the opposite. When I see a 30-year-old do it, I'm like, oh, still playing with nunchucks. Where did that take you, buddy?
no, I'm talking about the guitar.
Oh, like, what the, no shit. You're talking about dudes in their basement with nunchucks.
No, but you know what? I'll tell you what. You know what? As an adult, has thoroughly impressed me, and I wish that I would have learned how to do it when I was younger. Is juggling.
Yeah, I never
Because
learned how to
when you're a
juggle.
kid and like you're like that age, and then you get into like middle school, high school, and you're like, dude, that's for fucking nerds. Like
Dude.
you're a fucking
You
nerd.
know how to juggle?
And then do you know how to juggle?
Yeah.
Oh, hidden talent.
dude. No.
Oh, actual balls.
Well, what the fuck else are you talking
He can only do it with flaming swords, believe it or
Yeah.
not. It's weird.
Like, that's
No,
so
they have to be
passe.
hairy balls.
Oh, he does know how to juggle. I've seen him
Dude,
juggle.
that's,
You know
some,
what?
that's some
I-
clown college shit. You
I
gotta go to
never-
clown
I never-
college.
That's
learn
what
how
I'm
to
saying.
juggle.
I never thought the juggling was nerdy because they make a lot of wide receivers learn how to juggle.
Really?
Yeah, because it's a hand-eye coordination and being able to track multiple things in the air.
Yeah.
So for me, it was always the thing. Like I knew guys in high school, like in football, that would juggle in the locker room.
The Kelsey brothers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like
Kinda practical.
Travis did that on one of his podcasts.
Juggling.
Oh, damn.
yeah,
So-
a lot of
Because it was like one of those things that because he's a tight end, he's a big dude.
So he learned how to juggle instead of trimming his
Dude.
eyebrows.
Yeah. Well, so, I mean, weirdly enough, juggling and ballet are two things that like
What was
wide
that
receivers
look
and running backs will learn how to do.
You okay with it?
Me, yeah. Why?
Oh,
Just messing
man.
with the microphone a lot.
Okay.
I just want to. I am very fidgety and I can't get.
You're also
comfortable,
fat, so every
it's
time you
not-
move, you got to move.
You know, I was gonna.
I deal with it.
I was
too.
gonna make the joke that if you and I catch anything, we're always a wide receiver. So let's. On that note, it's time for pop quiz hot
So
shot.
I'm going to recuse myself from this because I haven't been here for the episode, and also I don't want anybody to have the chance to take my title. So if I recuse
You're a
myself,
bitch for
what the
that.
fuck?
What a
Get off the
bitch.
wagon.
So that means I have to do it, and I wasn't even holding a title.
Bring it on, bitches. I'm ready.
Okay, Rob, you've got the.
Yeah, I've got it.
You have it. Don't let them see.
You better hide that, Rob. My eyes are sharp as fuck. Damn
We're
it.
ready?
I already got it wrong.
That's right.
Okay,
Hey.
sounds like
That's right.
Whoa.
we're calibrated over there. Perfect. Alrighty. Fuck you, Nate. By the way, for like you brought this up a lot. I was like, oh, I'm gonna put this as my first question. What?
God, G Kwando's the answer.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
So okay,
Hercules in New York,
what?
you fat bitch.
What martial art did Bruce Lee create?
1 point for Nate.
So,
That's right.
all right. Okay.
And that's where I max out.
By what title is the film The Chinese Connection more commonly known? A. Game of Death. B. Fist of Fury. C. The Big Boss. D. Way of the Dragon.
Big Boss. C. Is that
That's
how
right.
this works?
Yeah, Matt has not.
Too late. He already said it's
Matt
right.
has not done a good job of being like, "Hey, Jim, this question's for you. Nate, this question's for you." He's just blurting out questions.
Well, Casey with the chance to steal.
Oh, there you go.
All right, what was it again?
It's not C.
By what title is the film The Chinese Connection more commonly known? A. Game of Death. B. Fist of Fury. C. The Big Boss. Or D. Way of the Dragon.
I'm gonna go with Fist of Fury.
No, that's right.
That's right.
God damn it!
God
That's
damn
right.
it!
What was it? D?
No, he was right.
Oh, he's right.
It was,
He's right.
it
It's
was Fist of Fury. It was Fist of Fury.
We've struggled with this the last 2 episodes.
I'll sit down because it's not
Come on, Rob.
Hey, come on.
Okay, yeah, we need to.
Let's
we
go
need
back
mark.
to talking about
See-
Major League.
Does anybody have a Sharpie and some masking tape?
That's right.
All right. Okay. So who was? So he got that. Okay. So
One
so
and one.
Casey. Casey.
Yes,
In the film
Matt.
Dragon, the Bruce Lee story, which actor portrayed Bruce Lee? A. Jason Scott Lee. B. Jet Li. C. Brandon Lee. Or D. Jackie Chan.
C.
A.
Hey,
A is correct. A is correct.
I just went with the
what are you
second.
doing to me,
right.
Rob? There we go.
A is
Jason Scott Lee.
A is
Not
correct. Jason-
not related.
Jason Scott Lee. Yeah.
Not related. By
I
the
knew
way.
it wasn't Jet Li. I would have to
Yeah.
see that.
Yeah.
And it wasn't Brandon Lee because he's unfortunately not
Also
around.
untimely.
Yeah,
Unlifed.
All right.
it was a Crows game.
All right, Nate.
That's
I
right.
love that movie, The Fucking Crow. That was
All right,
great.
Nate. This question's for you.
Hit me.
Who wrote and directed the film Way of the Dragon? A. Raymond Chow. B. Bruce Lee. C. Chuck Norris. Or D. Steven Spielberg.
A. Ciao.
A.
What the?
Casey with the chance to steal. Who
Oh
wrote and
my
directed the
God.
film Way of the Dragon? B. Bruce Lee. C. Chuck Norris. Or D. Steven Spielberg.
B.
B. Bruce
That's
Lee. is
right.
correct.
Oh man!
Does that put you guys at 2-2?
Holy shit!
Yeah.
All
I didn't
right.
even-
Directed
I didn't
that?
even get to answer
I
the
didn't
first
realize
one.
you directed that.
Well, because I didn't even get to ask the question. All right, Casey, this one's for all the marbles, even though it doesn't count because Jim's sitting over there comfortably with the title. What movie starring Jeff Cooper and Roddy McDowell did Bruce Lee help to create prior to his death? A. Blood Fist. B. The Warrior Within. C. Game of Death. Or D. Circle of Iron.
A.
That is incorrect. Nate with the chance to steal. What movie starring Jeff Cooper and Roddy McDowell did Bruce Lee help to create prior to his death? B. The Warrior Within. C. Game of Death. Or D. Circle of Iron.
C. Game of Death.
That is incorrect.
Beep.
We still have 2 options available. Should we go to
Go-
should we give it
to
back to
Jim.
him to
See what he can
steal?
do.
So it's either The Warrior Within or Game of Death.
I'm gonna
Or
go-
no, Warrior Within or Circle of Iron. Sorry, Game of Death was
I'm
one
gonna
of
go
those.
with the first one.
Warrior Within. Well, by default, Nate wins.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
If
Oh,
Casey
yeah.
at least if Casey had won, I would have at least said, "Well, in
No.
like when a wresler gets hurt and they got to find a new champion temporarily."
the answer was Circle of Iron.
I told you I'm not good
Circle
at questions.
of Iron. There we
Alrighty.
go.
I never did good at pop quizzes.
Well,
I'm glad you had multiple choice. That really helped.
That's what we needed for Arnold too.
that was well.
Not
we're
for
learning-
Hercules in New York, we didn't, motherfucker.
Learning by our mistakes here. So that was Bruce Lee. That was part 1 of 2 of our back-to-back Bruces. Next week we will be talking about Bruce Willis. But that was Play for Blood with Bruce Lee, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Anybody have anything to add before we go?
And after that, we will do.
Go roundhouse, kick something
Bruce
in the
Wayne.
face.
Thanks for letting me
And
jump
make
in
sure you go.
on the end of Bruce Lee.
What?
And teaching the people what autoerotic afixiation is.
Good
I would
Lord.
also
All
like
right,
to-
on
Truly,
that note, we're out of here.
Public
See ya.